So how do we take all of that data, make a golden record for Eric in the platform? And now, once we've got all of that data brought together, data put together, third-party systems integrated, how do we create phenomenal campaigns that not just say, Dear Eric, but kind of go on to, Dear Eric, here's your card number. And everything I see in my email versus Eric's email is far different, because my buying habits, my preferences, my flying habits, my behavior is far different than Eric's, right? So to engage the customer, we call it the 4 R's, right? Right channel, right message, right time, and at the right speed, if you will.
Welcome to The Jungle. I'm Eric Holtzclaw, Chief Strategist at Liger Partners. The Jungle is brought to you by Liger Partners to talk about different marketing tactics and things, and working with our different customers to look at what works and what doesn't. I'm excited today to be joined by Altaf Shaikh. He is the CEO of ListEngage. So Altaf, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Eric. It's my pleasure to be here. Excited to be a part of the jungle.
So this is going to be a good conversation, because you and I have seen a lot of change happen in the kind of world of marketing and the way that we get our messages out there. In fact, I was doing a little bit of research behind the scenes on you, and I'm a big fan of Twitter. It's like my favorite platform of all the platforms, but I don't have as cool a handle as you do. I think mine is Holtzclaw. So what is your Twitter handle?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think being an early adopter to the game of Twitter, I should use it more often, Twitter, but I think I don't. But my Twitter handle is the email guy. We were in the email space, MarTech space very, very early on, and I felt like the perfect Twitter handle would be the email guy. Now, my only problem, Eric, is you've got a good general one. If I retire, what happens to my Twitter handle? Then do I go back to Altaf Shaikh, or do I continue the email guy, right? That's the only thing I think about. But right now, it's absolutely perfect to describe what we do, my current passion, and sort of where we are in the ecosystem, and how we spend our time doing things, right?
I think that you could probably sell that email handle for a couple $1 million. Like, that's one of those that you can let somebody else inherit it, and you can sell it to them.
All right, so let's wrap it up. We can retire then. Let's wrap up this thing.
Well, I mean, that is an interesting topic we could discuss about the digital properties, and how some of them will be very valuable, just like real estate, as we kind of move forward. We see that already with domain names. But let's get back to ListEngage. So ListEngage is the name of your company. Talk to me a little bit about what ListEngage does. So where do you guys live in the kind of marketing ecosystem?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, ListEngage. It's been a long, beautiful, brutal at times, sine curve, ups and downs kind of a journey. But where we live in the ecosystem is we live within the marketing technology ecosystem, marketing technology stack, and we are a services provider in the rapidly growing, phenomenal Salesforce ecosystem. We decided to hitch our wagons to one brilliant company by choice early on, called ExactTarget, which Salesforce acquired, made that the marketing cloud. So we are one of the top service providers in the Salesforce ecosystem right now, Eric. That's sort of where we are and what we do. And what we do is we asked me one line explanation of ListEngage. What we do, we actually help our clients maximize their investment in the Salesforce ecosystem. Maximize their investment in Salesforce is what ListEngage does as a company.
Okay, nice. And so talk to me about the decision to get into that space. So how did you end up, starting ListEngage, and also, deciding to hook your wagon, I think you said, to ExactTarget and then the sort of Salesforce world?
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. I mean, you're taking me back almost 20 years now. I am dating myself here, but 20 years ago, I actually wrote a business plan at continuing education, Harvard Business School, that actually was, I was asked to build into a company, built one called hightechclub.com, an earlier company. We did a lot of click recruiting, if you will, search back marketing and click recruiting. But that company did so many phenomenal things. As the CEO, which I founded. And what we did really, really well in that organization was digital marketing. We knew when recruiters and employees and employers were looking at each other, and and this is, I'm talking about today, that sounds like table stakes, right? Knowing
Right.
who's opening your emails, who's looking at your profile, and so on and so forth. But marketing intelligence, marketing automation, those words weren't even keyed together at that time. Marketing and automation was separate. Marketing automation wasn't brought together. Marketing intelligence wasn't put together. And we were doing some phenomenal things with our candidates and employers. That company, one thing led to the other. ListEngage was formed, and the passion was all about bringing the click and the brick together, right? Marketing was all about brand, but to me, it was a lot about data and analytics. I knew there was a data explosion coming in. Not every consumer, not every subscriber could be treated the exact same way. It's all about relevancy. It's all about treating me along the digital journey, treating me along the direct mail journey, treating me along the mobile journey where I am. How you pick up the phone and call me, how you do digital engagement with me was very, very important. And I think I had a passion for bringing data, brand. Marketing was all about brand. So I wanted to marry data with brand and then bring the analytics together. And I think that fusion, did I know that I would work in this space, work somehow to create the three together? Absolutely not. I'm not that visionary, but I knew there was an itch there. There was something missing, and I wanted to step in and try to fill the gap one way or the other. And that's sort of where ListEngage was born, where we were trying to build very early on an email marketing platform that took the shape of taking consumers' lists, some good content, and hitting the send button. I'm talking about early 1999, early 2000, if you will. We did that for a little bit, and those were the early days of spam farms and getting stuck here and there, even though we were doing legitimate marketing. And then came along a company in Indianapolis called ExactTarget that had built a great private label tool for marketers. And having just gone through a round of funding in my previous company and trying to make a product company, I said, you know what, my passion is in services. My passion is in helping great companies do phenomenal digital marketing. I read along the way many, many years ago, Jim Collins called it, what's your big, hairy, audacious goal? What's your bag, right? My bag is marketing automation, marketing intelligence, bringing data, analytics, and brand together. And that services mantra, that services a passion that I had is what we put into ListEngage and said, you know what, let's go partner up with ExactTarget. Some great founders, great company. They're giving a private label version of their company. And if we can go take that and sort of build on it, resell it, provide services to our customers, will be far along. And that would have served my itch to provide great services, served my passion to provide great services on top of a great platform. So that's sort of how it all started, Eric.
Yeah, and that's a really smart way to look at it. I'm also classically a services guy. Like if I go back and look at my career, it's all services, right? Even back when I was a technologist. And the way that services people think versus product people, finding a good product that you can become a service provider behind is a great way to do it, because it's two different mindsets, right? You gotta cultivate people. If you're a services group, you've got to make sure you're taking care of them and doing all the right kinds of things. And I know within ListEngage, you guys spend a lot of time finding talent, cultivating that talent. So talk to me a little bit about the ListEngage community, which I think you kind of affectionately call the engagers. Yes.
Yeah, the engagers, absolutely. I think, but just to answer your question, 30 seconds on product versus services, right? Completely different DNA, right? I mean, can we swaddle both? Can we be in that area? But I think it takes a completely different mindset. Product companies, you're building some sort of a technology or an IP, versus services, you're cultivating your IP and your people, right? So I think early on we made a decision that for all the right reasons, I think we were going to be a services organization, and we chose to go on that path. Once we had taken that path, I think it was very, very clear that we weren't building a black box as an IP. Our black box, as I passionately call it, is our people. They actually, and very early on, today with Zoom calls and COVID, everybody's working remote, but ListEngage, well, I would say among the first small little nimble companies in America that sort of invented remote employees. We were from day one, full-time remote employees, our mantra was talent trumps location. Wherever we found great talent, we were just going to cultivate those people. We were going to hire true professionals who were good, who were responsible people, who were tethered to their phones and emails, yet had a great work-life balance and didn't have to commute 2 hours to work every day. If we could find those people, whether it was Salt Lake City, Utah, whether it was San Jose, California, or North Carolina, or New York, while we sat in Boston here, we would just nurture and engage those people along the way. And we looked at our people as our IP. I often talk to our COO, Brian, right now, and basically say that we're not a S Corp, C Corp, LLC. We are a people company. Our IP walks into our offices every morning at 8, sometimes 9, and grudgingly 7 and 6 sometimes because they have client calls, and our IP works in their offices, sometimes in their pajamas, sometimes in their suits, sometimes in business casual dresses, and serves our customers all through the day. And walks out at 5 or 6, or grudgingly sometimes much later at night, just because we do serve our customers late evenings and weekends as well. So at the end of the day, Eric, it's all about great people. ListEngage. I heard Bill Gates say it one day, and that kind of stayed with me, right? Bill Gates, early on in the Microsoft tenure, said, "You take away 20 of our best people, and Microsoft is a nothing company." I would say even today at ListEngage, you take away 20 of our best people, and ListEngage would be a nothing company. ListEngage is built on the power of our phenomenal people. We treat them well. I often say to my employees, and I don't think it is just because I have to say it, I come to work every day to serve them better. I literally come to work to serve them better. If I can take care of our people, help them along the way, do their jobs better, empower them by financial compensation, bonuses, but a great culture in the organization. And ListEngagers have been here almost a decade. So many of them in double digits have been here a decade right now. And literally every other call we talk about how they want to retire here. Now, of course, do we have a little bit of attrition for all the right reasons? Absolutely. And those are learning experiences for me as CEO as to how to do better in the company as well, Eric. But that's our ListEngage way. It's all about the people. And I wouldn't say, yes, the ecosystem, the macrocosm is all phenomenal, but if ListEngage didn't have its awesome people, that's our secret sauce, as simply as I can put it, Eric.
I love the concept of talent trumps location. And I've been fortunate, as you have, to be able to build organizations that could work mostly remote. I think this sort of COVID situation, as bad as it's been, has taught companies, I don't need people to be in a car for 2 or 3 hours every day, both ways. Like, think of all the productivity that you lose, the ability to kind of take care of that. So that's really smart. So
exactly.
as you look at, sort of talk to me about what does an ideal project, I don't know a better way to put it, but like an ideal, like where do you guys like to go in? What's your kind of sweet spot when you're, engaging with a client? What does that feel like for you as a company?
Yeah, exactly. So, I think, just to add on that talent and culture line, Eric, one other thing that comes to mind often is when early days of ListEngage, talent trumps location was a constant theme. But these days, we clearly are evolving to say that culture trumps talent. We literally, talent is important. We need A+ players. We need phenomenal players who can do some great things, but the culture of our company is important. We are a cohesive team. We are a team that takes care of each other. We often say teamwork makes the dream work. That is one thing I say every month to our team. Every other LinkedIn post I start with that: teamwork makes the dream work, if you will. So culture trumps talent these days, and I think we are opting for people that want to stay here, do phenomenal work. And if there are culture issues with some people because of certain reasons, then I think we are opting to hire the right kinds of people, if you will. So culture trumps talent has become even more important as we evolve in the organization, while we still stay true to our remote work location and talent, Eric. And the follow-on question was, what's an ideal customer for us? Correct?
Yeah. What is an ideal, like you get that phone call from a client or maybe from the Salesforce ecosystem, because I know you guys are very much plugged into that, and you're pumped because it's your favorite kind of project to work on. What is those?
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's a great question, right? So I think the way to look at it, Eric, is I would describe it as two ways. One is that you can't be everything to everyone. So early on, I realized that even though there's some great value in being a generalist and knowing a lot about the industry, especially when you're trying to hone down into what you want to do and where you want to go. Being a generalist at that level makes sense. But once you've decided what you want to do, and in our case, our calling, our purpose of my life, purpose of my mission was digital automation, was marketing automation. And we chose the best platform out there, I think, in Salesforce. Once we had made that decision, then the most ideal customer, the first question we qualify by them by is, do you play in the Salesforce ecosystem? If they play in the Salesforce ecosystem, Salesforce does a phenomenal job at qualifying customers early on, moving them from one ecosystem to the other if they use other products and tools in sales and service, or in sales, service, and marketing. Salesforce does all of the heavy lifting when it comes to sales. So our model, the ideal customer is, the first qualifying question is, are you part of the Salesforce ecosystem? Are you looking to move to the Salesforce ecosystem? If they are, then that's where we can provide services. And our secret sauce, our talent base is in one of the fastest growing clouds in the Salesforce ecosystem called the Marketing Cloud. And rather than be generalist to everyone, we decided to focus within the Salesforce ecosystem. And within the Salesforce ecosystem, rather than become generalist, we tried to become specialist, right? It's a beautiful, big, complicated canvas in a way, and putting clients' marketing vision in that canvas is not an easy job. So you absolutely need specialists to deliver. So we decided to become specialists, not generalists, and we took on the Marketing Cloud as the cloud that we were going to learn, we were going to tame it, we were going to enjoy it, and we were going to build phenomenal value for Salesforce customers on Marketing Cloud. And that's the expertise set we have built. Today, we've got 100 plus certifications, and we serve our customers who come through the Salesforce, in the Salesforce ecosystem, and help them adopt Marketing Cloud, help them get onboarded on Marketing Cloud. And we'll talk about what we do and how we do it, but help them adopt Marketing Cloud and then help them make the most out of their Salesforce investment in Marketing Cloud. So that's our secret sauce. That's what we do. Our calling is basically doing marketing automation in the Salesforce ecosystem. And we want to be specialists and not generalists. And 17 years ago, I started the company. We started doing our first Exact Target Marketing Cloud projects. Salesforce bought Exact Target and made it the Marketing Cloud. And even today, people tell me they are experts, and I know we are experts. We've done 3,000 engagements in the Marketing Cloud, but not a day goes by when our team comes together and learns from each other. And that's how we are. It is, if you stop learning, you stop growing, Eric. That's my mantra. So we constantly learn, we constantly get ourselves certified and build talent that way. And I hope you will ask me about our famous Wednesday lunch and learns, or what we call solution collaboration calls, something we're very proud of, but maybe that's a question we can discuss and I can tell you a little bit more about.
Yeah, absolutely. We should do that. One thing that's interesting about being kind of a recovering technologist in the marketing space, and this is something that you just kind of talked about as well, it's not like some other practice areas where you go learn a thing and then you know it. Like if you're an accountant, you shouldn't be doing creative accounting.
Right.
Right? Exactly. I mean, you could, but I don't think you should.
You follow the code, you follow the book then, if you're an accountant, right? Exactly.
Right. And there's certain things, but when you get into the technology like this stuff is always changing, the way that you interact, the technology, like all of that, and you have to constantly be learning. It's Absolutely. Difficult to ever say I'm an expert at it, right? It's more of
Absolutely.
I practiced it a lot.
In fact, the one thing I say to our people, Eric, all the time on the topic of change is, it's not the smartest who succeed, it's not the fastest who succeed. In our ecosystem, probably like yours, it is the ones that adapt to change that succeed. So we have to be nimble. Salesforce is innovating at the pace of light, right? I mean, they are going fast in staying ahead, staying abreast of technology, acquiring companies. And if we don't innovate by their side, or innovate in our services or adaptation, or be nimble and constantly adapting to change, we wouldn't be able to be a successful company. So it's not the fast, it's not the smartest, but it's the ones that adapt to change that are successful in our ecosystem. And that's what we live by every day, Eric.
So talk to me, I do want to get to your sort of, because that Wednesday thing feels like it's part of your culture. So we'll talk a little bit about because you said that was really important. But let's talk about culture in just a second. For those that may not be familiar, tell me what Salesforce Marketing Cloud might include, or like how I would be using Marketing Cloud in a way to move my business forward. So if you, I know it is a product, but if I'm a business or I'm someone kind of listening to this and thinking about, okay, well, I have Salesforce, I don't really know what Marketing Cloud is or what it does for me. What would you tell me that kind of part of the ecosystem is?
Yeah, exactly right. So, I mean, I think, Marketing Cloud, simplest way, and I might get a little geeky here, so I apologize,
That's
but
okay.
I,
I can
I
take
actually,
geeky.
yeah, absolutely. I actually say Marketing Cloud, to me, is the best last mile execution engine there is out there, right? At the top, if you sort of put a canvas together, Marketing Cloud is the best last mile execution engine. Why is it awesome to be the best last mile execution engine? Because there's tremendous responsibility in Marketing Cloud on the marketers and service providers and consulting firms and SIs like us. Why is that? There's a tremendous amount. There is a data barrage. There's an influx of data. There is an influx of customer records out there. There is an influx. There is a surplus, I would say, of integration tools out there. Customers can go to a POS system, can come through a POS system, can be sitting in an abandoned shopping cart, can be my loyalty data might sit somewhere else. My CRM data, my as I call it, my database of nouns and database of verbs. My first name, last name, email might sit in a database somewhere, but my database of verbs, my actions that I take or the purchases that I do might sit in a separate database somewhere. And that purchase might be in a store, on a phone call, or by doing it online. And you've got to be able to track me, tag me for doing all the right things. Tracking and tagging sounds wrong, but if I'm to engage you in the smartest manner, there's a lot to be done there and learned about you. So what we do is it is Marketing Cloud's responsibility and our responsibility as service providers to help you understand your data sources, your disparate data sources, bring them all together, help you integrate some of your third-party systems. And if we're talking about Eric, who is a subscriber who's just bought a product, it is our job to take in all that disparate data sources and make a golden record out of Eric. So we now understand Eric, not just first name, last name, database of nouns, but Eric's actions. Eric flies from Atlanta while I fly from Boston Logan. I'm a platinum member. Eric is a titanium member. And Eric's preferences are different, far different than mine are. Or I'm here in the buying cycle. So how do we take all of that data, make a golden record for Eric in the platform? And now, once we've got all of that data brought together, data put together, third-party systems integrated, how do we create phenomenal campaigns that not just say, Dear Eric, but kind of go on to, Dear Eric, here's your card number. And everything I see in my email versus Eric's email is far different because my buying habits, my preferences, my flying habits, my behavior is far different than Eric's, right? So to engage the customer, we call it the 4 R's, right? Right channel, right message, right time, and at the right speed, if you will. That's sort of how we call it, the 4 R's. To do all of that, is what you require phenomenal service providers and a tool called Marketing Cloud. Marketing Cloud provides us the levers, the foundation to take in that data, but you need experts like us to integrate it all, build phenomenal campaigns, help engage your subscribers, and then build lifecycle journeys such that I can be a subscriber that's just signed up for a brand. And my first 90 days with the brand looks like this. I should be able to take the subscriber from start to the 90-day cycle. And if the subscriber does some actions, I should be able to engage them in a different way. Maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's an SMS message at that time. And we are able to build in those responses within those life cycle journeys. So it is Marketing Cloud's job to be the last mile execution engine to send out great email, mobile, social messages to engage them and to sort of build engagement and nurture along the way for your subscribers, for your consumers, and to understand along the way and then adapt to some of those changes as the consumer behaves, right? So it's not an easy job. It is a data mashup job. It is building great campaigns. It is building phenomenal journeys on a piece of paper, conceptualizing it. How do your subscribers and consumers behave along the way? And to be able to take all of that and put it into the mold of Marketing Cloud is what we do as a company and help our clients to be able to, from start to finish, think through that, help them build all of that, and then monitor and support their lifecycle campaigns, automations, and journeys along the way to help them maximize their investment in Salesforce, Eric.
Yeah, I love the, that's the first time I've heard anyone use database of nouns and database of verbs. That's an
Yeah.
awesome analogy, an awesome way of talking about bringing that information together and then making kind of an overall profile. That I'm stealing that completely.
Great, very
So
good,
take it
absolutely.
back.
Good
So
information. Good information needs to be stolen, Eric. We all need to
that's
do our
right.
part to steal phenomenal information and spread the word.
Well, and I love analogies and things, so that really defines very easily for someone kind of the differences between those types of information that need to be brought together. So you talked earlier about culture and how important culture is in sort of your world and your company, and that is a big thing. Like right now, with everything that's going on with people working from home, and how do we keep culture? What does that look like? And your company's been remote sort of from day one. So talk to me about how you have navigated not only having a remote workforce in the before we all were working from home, but even now to keep the culture and keep everybody kind of connected. What are some of the things you've seen work?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's culture is a word. I mean, very overused and often lived by, right? I mean, in my opinion, people talk
Right.
about culture as much as innovation and strategy, sometimes even more when it comes to fast-paced technology or services organizations and what have you. But I feel like truly we live our culture at ListEngage. We call it the ListEngage way. We call our list engagers the engagers, and we truly think of them as superheroes that have been there and done that, and can deploy their skills, their expertise, their talent for our customers. And it was important to bring the team together in so many ways. And when you are a remote company, literally, I think you're working all the time. You don't get to walk into the office, come into my office, just sit down with me. I don't get to tap you on the shoulder, take you out for lunch, or tell you at 6 o'clock it's time to go home, Altaf, for me or for you or what have you, and go out on social gatherings like we do in most other companies, lunches and dinners, right? This is sort of remote. So we try and do a few things. I think our team members love each other, and we try to respond back. But I think that has been built over the years. There has been a foundation to that. It's because we ultimately care for our people, I think, more than most other companies do. And that's just not us saying it to be ranked in the Inc. 5000 or what have you as one of the best places to work. We really think we are an awesome place to work. We care about our people. That shows. But things that we have done, right? Every Wednesday and Fridays we may cancel it, but every Wednesday there's a call we call our solution collaboration call. It's from 12 to 1. It's mandatory. 40 to 50 list engagers join in. There's 70 employees right now from Europe, from Team India, but all of our US employees, all of them kind of join in. Most of them, if they've got a crazy client call, they may avoid it, but most of them join the solution collaboration call. The way to think of a solution collaboration call is bringing the team together. I call it our war stories call. That war stories call is a concept I learned very early on by reading an HBS or HBR article where they said, there were Xerox repairmen who were following a playbook or a code book to repair Xerox machines, photocopy machines, and something happened. And basically, they were trying to fix it for hours, and there was one capacitor deep down in the machine that was broken, and it took hours for this person to figure out that capacitor that was burnt out. He figured it out, and it wasn't in the code book how to repair it. But at lunchtime, where all the photocopier repairmen were sitting, this person talked about that capacitor being burnt out, and everybody learned about it. And going forward, when that cryptic error came up, errors C308 or what have you, they knew it wasn't anything in the playbook or repair book or what have you, but it was something that they had learned during this war stories lunch or getting together. We do so much work sitting remotely for our clients with our team members in a disparate fashion, and we are what I call, these are our spokesperson in front of our clients. They are our linchpins. We don't micromanage them. They are envisioning concepts for our clients. They're delivering, and they're learning so much and delivering great value. Now, if we don't bring that collective talent together on a call and call it our war stories call or solution collaboration call, where we don't talk about, okay, a difficult client, how do you deal with it? A threshold on an API function, what happens there? How do you write better code or better AMP script in the exact target world? There's lots of examples where we're innovating or pushing the threshold every day. Or how are we solving for a complicated situation or what have you? Those are all things we bring to the solution collaboration call, talk about it, and let the team learn from each other. As you can see, I can go on and on. I'm passionate about this, but this has brought the team together. We haven't missed
Yeah.
a single Wednesday call. in so many years. The team loves to come together. We record all of them, we store it, and team members go back and say, years later, this issue we are talking about was discussed 4 years ago on a call, and you should actually go search for this keyword and bring up that call and talk about it. And why does that relate to culture? Because the entire team comes together every Wednesday from 12 to 1. Some with their the videos off, mostly on audio, munching their lunch, but listening in on the calls, chiming in, presenting in. And that has brought the team together. People will not, structures are kind of blown away. They'll tag team each other, they'll call each other fun names, and they'll pick on each other a little bit, and literally makes them feel like they've been a part of a team for a long time and have known each other. We had a retreat that we did 2 years ago. After a number of years, we did a retreat. All employees got together in Orlando for about 3 days. A phenomenal time. And everybody felt like they knew each other for so long, even though many of them, and I was meeting so many employees for the first time. And that ListEngage call, the solution collaboration call, the lunch and learn call, or as I call it, the war stories call on Wednesdays from 12 to 1 has helped us build our culture quite a bit, in addition to our deep caring for our people, Eric. And I think that's really been a good thing for us in the long run.
Yeah, and that if you're doing your company remotely and running culture remotely, when you do meet that person for the first time, you almost feel like you haven't met him in person. Because I've had that happen for our company, where there are people I've never met, but then the first time I meet them, I feel like I already know them, because we've been on Slack together and we've been doing Zoom calls and we've heard a lot about what they're doing. I love that collaborative. There's a difference between being taught something and then practicing it and actually seeing, if it works or not in practice.
Exactly. All right, and then you lead by example, right? I think there have been instances in our company where people have been hospitalized and stuff, and team members come together to take care of it. ListEngage, I don't want to cite a particular example or a particular name, but people have challenging times in their lives, and how a company steps up to take care of them during those times is an important thing. You do it because you care about the individual, about your employee, about your colleague or friend or what have you. But I have realized along the way that our employees, our ecosystem is watching that. And that's sort of what stays with them. How you respond as a company, as an individual in times of crisis is far more important than the crisis itself. And I think we've taken really good care of our people along the way, and they've come back to take care of triple times more than that for the company. And that is, I think, innately built in all of us, Eric. And I think we're blessed for having our people and having built, having some great resources in our company, Eric.
Very nice. So talk to me a little bit about the future. So where is ListEngage 5-10 years from now? What is the BHAG look like? Like, what are you guys continuing to kind of work towards or think about? World domination?
Like the world domination, absolutely. Yeah, world domination would require being everything to everyone. I think again, right? It'll be tough. But no, I think that's a great question. World domination. I think domination in the marketing automation space. Helping customers get really good. There is so much clutter out there. There is so much noise out there, and helping our clients, our companies do phenomenal digital marketing, engaging consumers in a relevant way. I get my messages and there's so much nuance in my inbox at times, and there is so much to be done. Even just the other day, I was hearing a Salesforce leader describe and say that even today, despite Salesforce having done so much innovation and partners like us helping customers do such great things, 80% of Salesforce's customers today are still early in their digital transformation journey. They're not even within the middle spectrum or mature space, if you will. We basically have a thing called the digital maturity spectrum in our company. We talk about often. We can jump in and help clients in the ecosystem anywhere within that digital maturity spectrum, whether you're new, whether you are doing all right and you want to do better, or you're a sophisticated marketer. But 80% of even Salesforce's customers, and Salesforce is the number one CRM, number one connected cloud experience out there. 80% of those companies of Salesforce's customers are still in the early adoption phase. There is so much to be done, Eric. It excites me and it irritates me. I've been doing this for so long. How can there be so many companies out there who are still early on? So the mission is not complete. The work is going to be ever evolving, but our mission is to serve our customers at a profit and do well for our customers. We know that ultimately our customers come back to us year after year. We are what we build, customer reputation or success. Reputation within our company is important. So we want to do right by our customers and help them do really, really well every year. But where are we headed? We are headed and becoming a cross-cloud partner, a cross-cloud expert. We've realized that within the Salesforce ecosystem, enterprises are coming to Salesforce because they not only need the best last mile execution engine in Marketing Cloud, they need a great CRM. They need a great Service Cloud for getting all of their services and complaint tickets filed. They need so many more. They may need so many more things, and I can go into the details of why Pardot or why Lightning or what have you. But I think ultimately what we are doing is bringing all of these clouds together. Staying Marketing Cloud focused, we are now helping our customers who are using Sales and Service Cloud follow a connected playbook. Oftentimes, you don't get to work just in a black box in Marketing Cloud. Our customers and their customers originate in Sales Cloud and use that as the database of truth or as the source of truth, if you will, and have everything in Sales and Service Cloud, but ultimately want to send all great messaging through Marketing Cloud. And I call it the right side and the left side of the equation. On the left side is Marketing Cloud, right side is Sales or Service Cloud. How do you bring a connected cloud experience together and take a consumer or a customer that originates in Sales and Service Cloud and starts there, take them through a phenomenal journey in Marketing Cloud? And that connected cloud experience is what we are chasing. We're building a competency around and sort of building a strong company around, if you will, Eric. That's our mission for the future, and that's what we want to play and do really well in.
Yeah, and I agree with you on the fact that so many companies you think this has been around for a while, so you think people will be further along, but they're really still figuring this out. So there's plenty of opportunity out there, opportunity.
And I think as marketing innovation happens, as companies get acquired, as the marketing stack grows and gets whittled down, I often say there is so much chaos, there is so much nuance and noise out there. But I'm often a believer in where there's chaos, where there's confusion, there's opportunity. There is always, with all of the changes around us, somebody has got to be able to put their arm around it, put a fence around it. And it's going to be hard for newcomers to put their arm or fence around it. Imagine we've got 20 years of experience and 100 plus certifications on our team. With all of the changes in innovation, who better to be able to jump in, take hold of the situation, grab it by the horns and be able to do awesome things for our clients. That experience is going to pay off in the long run. And that's sort of what we are building and banking on, Eric.
Yeah, chaos and confusion. You've got an engager standing there with a light saying, "I can show you the way." Right?
So exactly. Light and a cape.
This is the way.
Light and a cape. Exactly right. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you today, Altaf. I've great learning about your organization and love talking with someone who has a similar kind of history to mine and that kind of technology and converting over and looking at marketing. So thanks for spending the time with me today.
It was my pleasure, Eric. I really, really enjoyed it. Looking forward to talking to you some more as the opportunity arises, but this was fantastic. Happy to share my vision and what we are doing at ListEngage. So proud to have a great group of people by my side. And really, I think I'm lucky to have a phenomenal team by my side that is helping us grow the company every day. But thanks, Eric, for taking the time to talk to me today.
Yeah. So I've been talking today with Altaf Shaikh. He is the CEO of ListEngage. You can find all the information about his company and him in the show notes. And thank you for joining us on The Jungle. I'm Eric Holtzclaw, Chief Strategist with Liger Partners. And until next time.